Hey, and welcome to States Unlocked, the place to learn about social psychology, human behavior, and learn practical tips on how you can improve your life. If you want to understand yourself and others better, be sure to subscribe and please, for the love of God, hit that bell icon so you get a little holler whenever I upload some new videos. So yeah, do it. Do now. So today we're going to talk all about perfectionism. Now, contrary to popular belief, perfectionism is far from a good thing. Often people struggling with perfectionism are seen to be determined, detail-oriented people, and it is said to be somewhat of a virtue. Well, if you don't know it already, it is far from a positive thing. And in this video, you're going to learn why this habit is just plain destructive to your happiness and the steps you can take to overcoming this self-sabotaging thought pattern. So I am making this video because I myself have struggled quite a lot with perfectionism, and it's been something I have been working on actively. And so I'd like to share my thoughts on the topic in the hopes it can help some of you guys. So perfectionism stems from an underlying belief that there is such a thing as perfection in the first place. And this pattern of thinking can lead to black and white thought or all or nothing thinking. So the notion that things are either perfect or they're totally imperfect. I'm either happy or I'm not. This fantasy of a perfect life, if something changes, can really sabotage us because it can mean that we don't appreciate things enough because they fall short of being quote-unquote perfect. It can stop us from finding a romantic partner because we're unconsciously looking for perfection or a fairy tale-like relationship. It can make us judge ourselves incredibly harshly because we didn't do something perfectly and lead us to not appreciating the positive things we may have accomplished. So these are just a few of the toxic ways perfectionism can show up in our lives, and it can rob us of meaning and joyful life experiences. So I've come to learn that something not being perfect is not the same as that meaning that it just isn't worthwhile at all. You know, people who have perfectionism tend to think things are either a perfect 10 or, and you know, if they're not that, then they're a 0. And this pattern is known as discounting. And in reality, things may not be a 10, but they could be a 5 or a 6 or a 7, and they still might be worthwhile. So by having such high standards, it can mean we don't extract as much joy out of life because, you know, we're just expecting the best of the best all the time. And, you know, acknowledging our tendencies to do this can really go a long way in helping us become aware of the cost of it. So a book I would highly recommend is The Gifts of Imperfection by Brené Brown. And I really could not recommend it highly enough. She talks all about the problems with perfectionism, and she provides a step-by-step guide on how to undermine these behaviors and belief systems that keep these habits in place. And she gives practical advice on how to live a more wholehearted life. So the book really is great, and the chapters are really short and conversational, so it's a really easy read. So definitely be sure to check it out. Perfectionism is something that is pervasive and it can cause huge problems in our lives. So I would really seriously encourage you to look at this tendency within yourself. You might not notice it, but it's worth scouring and trying to find it because it might just be a roadblock which is getting in the way of a hell of a lot of things. So while being ambitious and having high standards can be a good thing in some contexts, it's also important to make room for the fact that, you know, not everything in life is perfect. In fact, nothing is, and no one is. And accepting this fact can really allow us to live a life with more gratification, self-compassion, and empathy for ourselves and for others. I really appreciate you watching this video, and please be sure to subscribe and leave a comment. It really motivates me to know that, you know, I'm actually talking to someone. So your thoughts and feedback are most welcome and they're very much appreciated. So thanks again, guys, and I will see you on the flip side. Ciao for now.